can I do for you today? Oh, I was just in the middle of, well, actually just began restoring this beautiful old piano. We had a customer bring it in recently, and they got it at an auction and wanted to know if I can restore it for them. And so I was just giving it a clean, looking it over. Are you a, do you play the piano yourself? No? Just a lover of antiques and fine furniture and things like that? Yes, okay. Yes, no, it's a beautiful piano, but we'll put that away. What brings you in today? Okay, definitely you've got a nice chessboard there. Alright, we'll have a look at that, eh? We might come over to the workbench if that's okay. Come over here. Oh, I might just pop these few bits and pieces away, sorry. Sorry, as you can imagine, it gets a little bit messy around here. There we go. All right. Not very good tape. All right. Let's have a look at that chessboard. Well, goodness me. Where did you get it from? Cambodia. Handmade, I guess. Ooh. All the pieces are in there. Alright. Now I can see this. The latch is sort of loose. It doesn't actually clip in, but we might be able to do something with that. Alright. Let's have a quick look. Oh, look at these beautiful pieces. Great, let's have a look. We've got the, imagine to be the rook. Yes? You'll have to let me know. I see a great deal of chessboards come through here. See how the rook? Castles. Put these off to the side. What piece shall we look at next? What about these? Certainly interesting looking creatures. They must be cats of some description or some sort of animal. They're interesting. They're the bishops. Okay. Here are the white bishops. Different colours. There they are. Those are the bishops then, are they? Fantastic. And you can see there has been a little bit of wear. Is that what you were talking about? The little chips. These are made of stone. Is that stone? I'd say so, just by the sound. Judging by the sound of it. Well, I guess that makes these the knights then. I wonder what kind of stone that would be. The elephants. The elephant pieces. We have those two. And then there is the black knights. Yeah. So all four pieces there. They're beautiful. It's a beautiful set. As you can see there, that's probably what you were hoping to fix, these small. With the black pieces, we might just even be able to go through with a permanent marker and darken in those spots. I don't want to touch them too much if I don't have to. Keep them as close to the original as you bought them. Or you were given this set. Oh, you don't actually know how to play chess? Oh, good grief. Well, if we've got time at the end, I'll go through some of the rules with you if you like. Let's take all the pawn pieces out now. Here's some of the white ones. As you can see, we'll just inspect them. I would hate to cause any further damage to them, so that's why I'm just pulling them out. You can have a quick look. Yeah. Beautiful pieces, aren't they? And you can see all the little subtle differences between each one. Have a look at that. Have a look at the two variations on the hats. Lovely. Pop these in there. Alright, moving on here. Looks like we've got a few more of the pawn pieces. Just to go for the white side. And then we'll start taking the black ones out. So when they chip on the black sides, it comes up quite a lot more, doesn't it? So that's okay though, we should be able to do something about that. I'm not worried too much about the black pieces, but the white pieces, they might be a little bit harder to bring back to the quality of sort of looking brand new, I guess, or it'll be harder to get them back to that brand new looking quality. But I mean, they are handmade, of course, so you probably don't want them looking too new, I guess. You want them to look a little bit. Oh, look at this. The kings. There they are. The king pieces. Happy with that there. I've got a little bit of damage to the black piece especially. The white piece has a chip along the base. And last, but certainly not least, everyone's favourite piece, the queen. She's quite a grin on her. Queens aren't too bad. Again, a few minor damage to the base of the black queen. Alright, so there they are, all stacked, all in line, ready to go. Have a look at the board itself. It's beautiful. On a bit of a tilt there, but we might be able to do something about that. We might assemble all the pieces, I think. Let's do my side as the white side. Here are the two castles. And then we'll work our way in. Do knights. The bishops. And the two most important pieces. The king and the queen always goes on her colour. It's an easy way of remembering which way they go around. And likewise we'll set up all the main pieces for the other side. The two bishops. Oh, my apologies. I've started working my way in. The two knights are next, and then the bishops. And the two most important pieces again. The queen goes on her colour, and the king next to her. Here are all the whites, pawns. Cool. This is looking good. Almost done. Perfect. Alright. Getting to the end now. Once they're set up, I can tell you a little bit about the rules of chess if you like. Before I'll show you what I'm going to do to the black pieces, the chips. There we go. You would have seen a chessboard set up like this before, of course. When it's all complete, it looks like this. Alright. Now let's think. Let's start with, well, I guess the aim of the game is to try and take the opponent's king. Put the king into a spot where there's nothing they can do. The king's going to be taken. This is the king, of course. The bigger pieces. It's the back there, surrounded by his army. So using all of my pieces through a course of making moves and taking the other player's pieces, I hope to put the king in a position where there's nothing he can do. He's going to be taken no matter what, and this is, of course, called checkmate. If I put his king in the position where I can take it the next turn, that's called check, and he has to move out of that space, or someone has to intervene, so I can't do it. That's the rules. You're not allowed to let your king die. So that's just called check. That means that the opposing opponent can do something to get out of being in check, and checkmate means they can't do anything there. That's game over. And of course there's a stalemate as well, which means there's not really any way of anyone winning. It just comes to a halt. Now I guess we can talk about what each piece does. So obviously it goes turn by turn. I go first, the next person then goes. White, usually to start the game. Your pawns along the front, they can't do much, but they are still very important. The way that they move is each one of them, if it's their first turn of moving, they can move either 1 or 2 spaces. They can only move forward. They can never move backwards again. So he could move to there, or he could move to here. Let's say that the opposing player decides to meet the pawn there. This pawn cannot take someone who is directly in front of him. The only way that a pawn can take any other piece is if they are diagonally in front. So again, they can't move to the side, they can't move backwards. They need to move either forwards or diagonally across to take somebody. There we go. He's now taken a piece and he's sitting pretty there. Likewise, if this person wanted to answer back, he could move his piece forward once. This move, this is just an example. I'm by no means an expert chess player, but he could move, take this piece, followed by this player then moving diagonally to take that piece. There we go. That's just a bit of a pawn battle that we've done there. So that's how they work. Now they aren't allowed to move diagonally whenever they want. They can only move diagonally to take someone. Otherwise it's all just moving forward. So once they've moved their first turn as well, they can no longer move 2 spaces. They're only allowed to move 1 at a time. It's only that their first turns they can move 2 if they want to get that little head start. They don't have to, they can move 1, but that's just if they want a little head start there. Let's work our way in, I guess. talk about the castle. Now the castle can't jump over pieces like I've just illustrated there. I was just taking him out. Usually he would of course be situated back here, and you would have to clear the other pieces out of the way to let him move. But for the sake of the example, we'll just put him here. The castle can move any number of spaces, left, right, up or down, forwards or back. It cannot move diagonally, but of course it can move anyway. Let's put a few pieces out here. So if this castle was in this position here, you'd move forward and take this piece. But let's say that the castle was here and you wanted to take the knight that is behind the pawn. You would have to take this piece first and then take that on the next turn, provided that that move's still available. You can't just go straight over and jump. That's not what that piece can do. That piece is blocked by other pieces, including its own. Very important pieces. The way that I play chess, my strategies quite heavily rely on the castles, the rooks. Moving our way in, the next piece is a knight. In this case it's your elephant pieces, usually represented by a horse. Knights are very special. They can do a really unique sort of move, and they can use an L shape, and they can also jump over other pieces. For instance, one of your first moves might be to bring your knight out, forward 2, and then to the left, 1 to the left or the right, or that way. From there, you can move 2 and 1, or it might choose to go 1 and 2, or it could go back and hide back and go backwards any way that it wants, and it can jump as many pieces to get to where it wants to go. Plenty of options there for the knights. The bishop is very similar to the castle in that it can't move through other pieces, and it can move forwards and backwards, but it can't go like this. It can't go forward, back and side to side. It goes along the diagonals, and yes, that means that each one of them can only hit the colour of square that they begin on. This one here is the black. Let's say we move this pawn forward. Its next move might be to go out to here and then along the black lines, but it can never hit a white square because it can only stick to its diagonals. The next piece you would say is maybe the most powerful piece, the queen. The queen can do anything that a bishop or a castle can do. So it can go along this way, it can go along the diagonals. The queen is one of the few pieces that would be able to go anywhere on the board. The other one is the castle, of course, the king, and the knight would be able to land anywhere on the board if they wanted to. The king, this is the piece that you do not want in the front line, unless you're an aggressive sort of player, but for me, I usually try and protect my king at all costs, putting other pieces around it and making sure no one can get too close. The king can move one space at a time in any direction. Usually sits back here. I don't move him too often. Now let's say that we begin our game and we do a few moves here. Just for example, let me move this one out. Up to here. Just for an example board. What we're looking at here is another move. It's the only time that a king could move more than one square, and that's to do a move called castling. It's what I was taught by my grandfather anyway. It might have a different name, I'm not sure. But it's a special move that the only time you can ever move your king 2 spaces is by swapping it almost with the castle. So you're going to move him in there, and the castle jumps over 1. It's a very unique move. So it's the only kind that sort of allows you to move 2 pieces in the one turn that I'm aware of. There might be more, but that's the only one I know of. And that's the game. So the object is taking it turn by turn. You would have a bit of a battle in the middle, lose pieces, sacrifice pieces, and eventually land on the other side, pushing that king into a corner. Now I make it sound like at the end you're almost going to have nothing left, but in all honesty, you might even manage to sneak a few pieces through and checkmate them quite early in the game. It really depends on your strategy. I like to play a long game and protect my king, and then slowly try and dwindle down their army, leaving myself with a select few pieces. That's the idea anyway. I'm by no means an expert chess player. I haven't played much at all. Oops. There we are. Let's have a look if we can fix up a few of these black pieces here. Good as new. It's alright, I won't do this to the white pieces. The white pieces might need a special little die or something like that. But we should be able to do something. Just so you can't see these chips anymore. Here's one. Here's another. Oh, little one at the bottom there. Is that all? Little one there too. Put these pieces down to the side. Let's have a look. Cool. This little one has on its nose. So I've got it's not a fine point. I've actually beaten the end of this one up a little bit, so it's actually more of a brush, but it works perfectly for the purposes that I need it for today. There we go. Colour that one in. Oh, a little bit on the base there. Done. Sometimes I go to colour them in, but it's actually just the reflection. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Well, I might continue to do that, and we might just pack this up really quickly and I'll take this into the storeroom. This will probably get done overnight. It's not a large job by any means. Are you going to be coming back tomorrow? That's perfectly fine if you'd like to. Now just place all these pieces back here. Not sure how they really go in. If there's a specific way that they do or not. I'm just going to sort of stack them in. I know they'll most likely fall everywhere in a moment, but that's okay. There we are, that one. The queen. castles. And then the pawns. Really is quite a spectacular little set, isn't it? It comes all so you can pack it away at the end of the day. See if we can meet them in the middle here. There we are. Nice and easy. I wish there was more I could do for this latch. I'll see what I can do, but if I have to replace it, it's just a piece of tin. I might replace it with something. Alright. Excellent. Leave it with me. Alright, so if you wanted to come back tomorrow any time after midday, we'll have that done for you. Alright, take care now.